That's one of
All right,
those
here we
plays that
go,
you
y'all.
call, and everything seems to happen exactly as it's scripted in the playbook.
I got a cup of tea with me. Um, let's see. All right, here we go. All right, welcome to my OMFL Vikings mid-season review or overview. Forgive me once again. I'm super nasally. A concurring theme as my nose begins to fail me as I reach the latter stages of my life. So, I'm currently 5-5. Well, let me back up a little bit. Um, so I'd like to do. Watch my nose. I gotta just pull. I start pull the mic up when I need to like sniffle like that. Just make that a habit. I'd like to do a few things, but probably break it down um, a little later. I'd like to review my opponents, maybe like for the first half. Maybe it's something I'll do on the computer. Right now, obviously, I'm streaming from the console if it's not apparent to you. Um, and so the console just affords me a much better way to look at players and stats, but the opponent review, I guess I can just watch or go over some of the clips from my stream, things that stood out to me. Maybe it's helpful to some, maybe it's helpful to others. I don't know. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. Who knows? Just something I just feel like I just need to just try. And I don't know if I'll be able to do for every opponent. I'd like to think I could. It's a 72-hour advanced league, so about, between 2 to 3 games a week. So I think like either like a Saturday night or a Sunday morning, maybe something I just can do continually until, the CFM just dies down. Usually happens like right April the following year. So I'll probably give an overview of what I think so far of Madden because I haven't really played in about 2 years. Or I take that back. I haven't bought the game in about 2 years. And I came back to what was promised to be a very good Madden, but it's not that good. It's okay. It has a lot of issues, and I guess I'll discuss some of the issues. I guess the ones that stand out to me the most. And I guess in this mid-season review, I'd also look at my team overall just to see where I want to go. And part of it I was thinking was a little bit of just like transparency to what I do um, behind the scenes. We have a Discord, or the league has a Discord server, and whenever I make an adjustment to the player's position, it it shows up. So I like that, but not to. I feel like this is more like me just saying like I'm just constantly experimenting with my team. So right now, this is what my team runs. I'm 100% in terms of my scheme fit for offense and 87% in terms for my defense. The offense I'm not too worried about because I feel like that's just something it just helps you out in terms of like, getting more XP for your personnel. I think on defense is really where I feel like you probably need to have something closer to your scheme fit. So I'll just cycle through the scheme fits. I am a 3-4 guy. I prefer it a lot more. That's just who I am. I'm just a 3-4 guy. And I always know that that it's a better defense overall because of what it does to the ends and the blitzes. So just a quick overview. That 4-3 just, and it's been like this forever in Madden. The 4-3 just allows so many more gaps between the O linemen, mainly your A and B gap rushes, to come and wake more cleanly more often because of the four down linemen. So essentially, if you send six, you're always gonna have one extra guy, and obviously we know the QB should account for the guy that's the extra rusher. But it's Madden, and none of us are professional players. When I say players, I mean like professional quarterbacks. And so I guess picking up that mic or that extra blitz, whether it's the Sam or the Will, can be a little tricky. Uh, there's no telltale signs on where it's coming from, in my opinion, really. So anyway, so I run a 3-4. At the beginning of the year, I was running, I believe, this base 3-4, where the left end was a power rusher. I take that back. No, it might have been 3-4 under. It might have been 3-4 under, but the reason why I moved to 3-4 disguise, because I like my safeties to be hybrid. But what I'm finding is maybe I want my ends to just be run stoppers and just run stoppers across the board, you know? Um, so in this base 3-4, my right end and my defensive tackle are both run stoppers. So I guess the emphasis will be placed on block shedding. So I'm thinking maybe that'll help release my rushing linebackers because of how much, I don't know, it's not attention, but if those guys are run stoppers with nice block sheds, I'm guessing it'll just decrease the time it takes for them to get off those blocks. And maybe if they have a little bit of some kind of like either like power move or finesse move, it just makes it that much better. Um, so right now, this base 3-4 power rusher left end, run stopper inside and the other end, and then power rusher at outside linebacker, the middle linebacker field general, right outside linebacker speed rusher, man-to-man corners, run support, and zone safeties. I don't really enjoy. So like I said, so I'll probably just stick with this scheme and see how I have like three power rushers. So right now, my dilemma, I feel, is I would like to draft somebody like splitting the middle between power rusher and run stopper. And that's kind of where my brain is right now. I have no evidence that this will work or make it, you know, effective in my gameplay. That's just where I'm thinking right now. So that's that. So that leads me to, let me just, leads me to, hold on one second. I have to blow my nose really quickly. What a battle, by the way. Allergies, like, it doesn't stop for me. It just doesn't stop for me. So, yeah, I just blowed my nose and I just sniffled on top of it. So, anyway, so I'm always in this place right here. So, one of my biggest issues with the game, and just a personal squabble, is, how do I explain it? How much the game relies on speed to be effective. And I know it's the same in real life. However, in the game, it feels like it's just multiplied exponentially. So here we have Marquez Callaway, who's on my practice squad and is the best player in all practice squad. And you'll see I've got quite a few good players on practice squad. So he's a decent player, I believe. 87 speed, 91 acceleration. Agility's alright. Strength is pretty good for a wideout. Awareness. But just take a look at his catching. 88, 84, 87, 75 route. Deep doesn't leave much to be desired. 74 release. This is not a bad 2-year player. 92 jump. Right? Let's take a look at his traits. He has all three. Is it all three? Aggressive, run after catch, fight. Doesn't have keep feet in bounds. So he has 2 out of the 3, but fights for yards. He does have keep feet in bounds. He has all 3 catches. Right? The issue is that the game doesn't allow these big physical receivers. Excuse me. To be as effective as they are in real life. Like a guy like this would be an excellent red zone target. 6'1", 204, excellent jump. But it just doesn't allow it. This year in particular, the cornerbacks are just OD. The cornerbacks are ridiculous. And I understand it because when you watch, especially the online head-to-head community play, it's a bunch of like crossing routes, just waiting, 4, 5, 6 seconds for a guy to get open, and you just cannot cover some of these guys that are really fast. Like the amount of fast players isn't isn't scaled correctly, I think, or the effectiveness of how fast someone is, how often isn't scaled correctly. I don't know what the corrections are, but it just doesn't exist. I looked at a receiver on Atlanta's practice squad, which would like, in my opinion, real life would have like GM's drooling. 6'4", 210 rookie, 22 years old. But look at the speed ratings. Like, you can't do anything with him in Madden. So Marquez Callaway wasn't bad, right? 87 and 91. But at 85 as a rookie, you know, the person in the CFM doesn't even look at him. It's not worth it. But he's good catch numbers. 83, 81, 84. Short route is decent. Release is all decent. It's just not enough. Jump 89. Carry 76. He's got good carrier vision. Break tackle is good. I'm not sure what the answer is. I guess for somebody slower, I would anticipate their route running being much higher, much younger, to kind of offset the lack of speed in Madden. Clearly, this person is good enough to make it to the NFL. So, anyway. So, excuse me, again, the nose. Please don't worry about it. It's not being monetized, so we don't care. Um, some of these tight ends are quite attractive. Here's a guy, Brock Wright, 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 86 speed from the Jets. I mean, arguably should be on the roster, but just not good enough overall, right? 60 route running. That's not what you're looking for. But I think my main concern is the wideouts. It's just that the matchup between cornerback and wide receiver is such a dynamic one in Madden. It's like I mean if you've got fast on either side, you're at an advantage. There's no middle, right? There's no like decent speeded guy where he can get you open and get you a few catches. So anyway, so I'll move off that. So you know what? Let me run back because there was something I was thinking about, and maybe no one else is thinking about this, and maybe it's nothing. And so, in looking at the practice squad, what I'd like to do is kind of just look at all the young players who kind of like, let's say, like this guy, 71 overall, 22 years old. He should be on my roster. I just don't have the space for him. I have safeties that are far better than him. But I'm thinking going forward, if I have a safety retire me like Smith, I can just slot this guy right in. Um, but this eliminates me looking at a safety in the draft. So that's what I kind of like to do. See who's kind of like halfway decent, hanging around. Like this is not a bad corner. He's got 1 year experience. He's 22 years old. I mean, decent speed at 90, 92, which is crazy to me. He's probably got no man coverage or zone coverage. It's probably terrible. But maybe somebody I just eye towards the end of the Madden season to pick up in case I don't get, as if I was targeting a corner, if I don't get him. There's another few players. Maybe I'll turn this into a little practice, a little dumpster diving, as we used to call it in PSL. Excuse me. And I've looked at a few guys already, so so if you see me scooting around pretty quickly, it's because I've looked. I flirted with another guy from no, oh, pause. Wow. Where is he? It's a linebacker from no, it's an end who I think is a linebacker from the Falcons. This guy, Mike Rose, 22 years old, run stopper. I think this guy is a middle linebacker. I'm almost positive. Should not be an end, only because we'll look at this. He has no end, like 50 power move, 47 finesse move. The guy's not an end, but he's got good block shedding, decent acceleration. I mean, 88 is really good actually. Tackle's great. Hit power 78, pursuit's good. Impact blocking is good. There was another stat that kind of, let's see, that I thought I kind of liked. Strength, block shed, tackling, power, pursuit. His zone and man coverage are, for an end, like outstanding. Like even a guy like this, if he's got 58 awareness, like play rec. But 85, 89, and 81 agility. No, I mean he's got no block shed and no finesse power move, but this guy's definitely much better. This guy's too. This is an end. But Mike Rose should be a middle linebacker on somebody's team as a rookie. And like I said, he's fairly young. Good tackling as well. I know guys are in the chat gonna tell me just take something pro. I took 2 Allegros this morning. It's official. I'm immune to like any kind of like over-the-counter allergy medicine. I definitely seen a no and throws doctor throws no and throat nose and throat. Yeah. So for you guys hearing me super nasally, I apologize. One day I'll get it fixed. And he also has decent jump. So I feel like this guy would be a great candidate, maybe in the offseason for me to target, or maybe I just stash him. Maybe I'll pluck him off this guy's practice squad. I know my team is defensively orientated. and he's 22 years old. Not a bad pickup for a guy, that let's say if you draft this guy like in the fifth or sixth round, you wouldn't be too upset. You probably wouldn't keep him either, but not a bad player. Um, Here's a guy that I may target when after I log off. This guy right here, right? 6'3", 310 pounds, 79 speed, 83 acceleration as a DT. Like I feel like if I had this guy in my 3-4 at either end, I'd cause havoc. The only downside is, and I hate to even say it out loud because I clown one of my good Madden buddies all the time, is that he's 24 years old. And the question becomes like, how good is he going to be in the next three to four seasons? You've got to suspect that this guy will get on my team, and I'm probably not going to like, let's say, spotlight practice him. But even that won't help. But you see, like 63, 50, like these numbers aren't great. The numbers aren't great, but I feel like this athleticism is unbelievable. He's a scheme fit. I might I might pick him up. 77 jump. He's an athlete. Like but he's an athlete. So here's the other thing that's an issue with Madden. Like I just can't get on here and just like look at stuff. It just it always kicks me off. It always, always, always kicks me off. Okay, so all right. So that's enough of that practice squad dumpster diving that I like to do. So my regular season goal is, excuse me. So I talked about it a little bit after my loss to Dallas. My regular season wins goal is 7. I said it 5 wins. And how do I view schedule again? Schedule, team schedule. So I lost 2 straight. I expect to win the next 2, or I should be able to win the next 2. The Bud Bowl, I think he won his first game back, but I don't think he's won a game since. The Jets, I believe I can get a win. Um, but the Lions, I feel like the Lions and the Packers and the Bears, they all smoked me to start the season, and all those games are away. The Giants, I don't know. I don't think I've played them before. Maybe I have. And the Colts, I don't know. But out of these next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, I need to win 2 of them by hook or crook. By hook or crook. Um, to be honest with you, I felt like I should have won this Cowboys game. It just got away from me. I made a slight adjustment at halftime mentally, and it backfired. Um, but I'm gonna have a scattering report on the Dallas Cowboys. I might even do it tonight, just because I have nothing better to do. And make it a series, like I said earlier, where I just kind of just scout, you know, season opponents that I've played. But I'll probably do it from, like I said, the computer. I'll run the game video in the back, and we'll just scrub through it to see what I could have done better, what to expect when playing the Cowboys, um, and maybe just continue that being a trend. Um, there'll be no like there'll be no like cutting up. I don't have the time to cut up video, and it'll just be like us just running through it. Like on 1.5 speed, and I'll pause it when I see something that I should highlight. So that's that. let's look at my stats. So the one highlight, or the one not highlight, the one thing I should mention this year in Madden, and not like in years past. Unfortunately, it cannot be done with the lesser quarterback. It just cannot happen. I started the season with Mond, who's not a bad quarterback, um, in previous years, but this year, like 65 overall, ain't gonna cut it. I can't put it any other way. Just ain't gonna cut it. So I started Kirk Cousins in my last game, and I felt like I played better because the quarterback was better. I was able to make some throws. They weren't as many errant throws. So let's see. Yeah. So they weren't as many errant throws. Rushing, I've been okay. I mean, only 5 TDs for Cook. I feel like the games don't provide enough snaps. I'd like to see more snaps. I'd like to see more snaps. So I don't know if it's something as simple as like just getting rid of the accelerated clock and like going to 7 minutes instead of having 8 minutes and accelerated clock. Um, but I'm not sure what the answer is, to be honest with you. I feel like just more snaps. Maybe I'll experiment in the dummy league, which I've been given commissioner status to a few days ago. So maybe tonight I'll do some experimentation. My receiving hasn't been great. I spread the ball quite frequently. I don't have. I feel like Justice should have way more yards right now, but having Mond in really didn't help me um, at all. It just didn't. So that's that. My defense isn't the greatest. 6 sacks for Hunter. You know, Phillips has 3.5. Smith has 3.5. Tackles for loss. Like even like total tackles. Oh, he's leading my team in tackles with 2 picks. I tried to get him some sacks, but it doesn't really work out for me. Um, but like I said, Patrick Peterson been playing really well the last couple of games. I've been able to like get him going, so to speak. Also, my man Dantzler out here, who was almost traded. Oh, almost traded during the season. All right, so that's that. So stats are pretty decent, not the greatest. I look at my look. I'm last on offensive yards, but look, 6 in defensive yards. So like the defense is there for me. How many points I give up? I give up a lot of points. See, I give a lot of points up. A lot of them in the beginning of the year were off pick sixes. I just could not control it. The out routes were closed, even though y'all thrown on a break. Um, and we had discussion before. Madden or EA, whoever, really wants you to use those pass mechanics. Without it, you cannot push the ball to the edge of the receiver's route. It just there's a video online, a guy showing the target circle and where the ball lands. It's always in the middle of the target circle, but in doing so, the ball is always behind the receiver. It's never in front. I don't know what that's about, but that's how it is. So anyway, so I can't really show you guys my scout players, obviously, because it's a competitive league, and I just can't allow, I can't give away the information whether I got somebody favored or not. I really wish I could. So we'll just go to guys, players ready to negotiate. I know that I'm going to lose a lot of players this off season. Um, I don't have any real trade value, to be honest with you, with any of the players I have. Like, I wouldn't trade Jefferson. I probably wouldn't trade Cook. I probably wouldn't trade Hunter. And as you know, as the seasons progress, unless those guys are really, really young, they don't have that much value. So, so that's my midseason review. Let me look at this. 5-5. I need to win the next two games, and after that, I can probably just like, you know, I guess quote unquote school around. Back again. So yeah, I wanted to trade Matson or Madison. It's really tough because unfortunately running backs are just like they're just not that valuable in the game. It's just one of those things. It's a good back. He's a good back. Somebody will sign him. Um, yeah, somebody will sign him. He has no interest in re-signing with me. Very little. So it's not really worth it for me to even try. I don't really use a two-back system. So having a guy this good doesn't really, as a backup and paying him money, doesn't really do anything for me. Sendejo, I brought him as a backup. Brad, this guy I probably should keep. I probably should try to move him, but he has no interest, and he's a really good center, so I'll probably have to replace him either in free agency or the draft. He rejected my first offer, so I'll have to wait and see. Matter of fact, I'll do this live. Let's see if I give him a very friendly offer. And maybe that'll just give you guys an idea. You see, I don't have a franchise QB. Maybe if I had one more green bar, maybe I'll wait. If I had one more green bar, um, I'd probably be able to sign this guy. I'm at 27, star dev, you know. All right, whatever. I'm over. I'm overpaying. Oops. Where's the? Oh, here's the offer button. Very high chance of accepting. Let's look at this player card. He's decent. You know what? At 70, huh? At 70s, I can let him walk. It's not a single 80 blocking in there. Jordan Berry, punter, I let him walk. I'll let this kid walk. Boyd, I may keep, and Watts. But like if you caught this at the beginning, I was talking about my 3-4 defense. I really would like to get like three giant persons on that front line. 6'5", 307 is not little at all. All right, and he's a power rusher. Power moves. He's got power and finesse moves. But if you saw him, that DT that was there, who's a run stopper, like you grab that guy at 79 speed at DT, I mean, that's wild. And I'm probably gonna pick him up. Um, I'll probably pick him up. Pursuit's good. Hit power is very good. Um, but I don't know yet. I think I want to get that DT. And I might just spend this Madden cycle just experimenting on to get the most out of a 3-4 defense. Um, yeah, that's it. So that's my mid-season review, guys. Once again, I apologize for the nasally sound. Um, but yeah, we'll just go right. We'll go back this one more time. So I just take another look. we'll look at. I mean, we can look at all these DTs. I mean, look at all these ends. I mean, but these are just like. I wish there was um a slider for height and weight. Um, 90 strength. But like these guys are fine. It's the thing is that you just want. I want somebody that I can kind of build the team with. And I hate to say at 25, it's really hard, or 24, to kind of do that, You really want them to be like 22, 23. I think 23 might be the oldest, really. But I've got nothing to lose, really. I'm gonna be on the outside bubble of this playoff, this playoff push. I mean, if I can get to a game over 500, I could sneak into the playoffs. Not sure what that does to my players' XP or morale, but I'm definitely a much different player than I was the first 2 weeks. I mean, my defense is better, my recognition is better. Um, setting guys up, I'm doing a lot better. The thing is, like I said, the 3-4 just doesn't give me a lot of options in terms of rushing, and I feel like it should because in most cases it's five guys coming, and if I could just send a six, depending on what it looks like, um, I should be able to get more pressure, but it's just edge pressure, and the 4-3, those middle linebackers have A gap pressure coming in, and so it's much much easier for them to get there. But some of these ends are phenomenal, like 24 years old, 83, 87, 80. This guy's good, but like if any one of these are in the 70s, I consider this player, bringing him on my team. Like you're just not gonna get around anybody with next to nothing in terms of a finesse move. And that's not a bad player at all either. This is a nice size to be at outside linebacker, but I just feel like an outside linebacker in my 3-4, even if you're a rush guy, having some kind of coverage skills, and not even coverage skills, just the speed to cover, it has to be there. This is just me personally. This is not a bad player either. There's a few players on other teams that I'm eyeing in the offseason, and maybe we'll have that conversation. Even this guy, if this guy was 24, like look at him, 81 speed, 84 acceleration, he's 308, 6'1", he's 26. But like, 2 years in the league and, awareness is only 58. I really I can't put him on the roster. It's just tough. Like this guy doesn't have it, but I feel like, if I can finish the season with this guy on my team, maybe he gets some points, some block shed and some play rec and some awareness. And he's a 70 overall going into next season. And maybe this solves my DT left end, right end dilemma. And I don't think I have a big problem there. I think the guys I have on my team are okay. I'm just looking for an edge, just an edge, no matter how big or small it is, but just an edge. So currently, here's my DTs. Like I don't have anybody that quick at DT. I have this guy, but he's 284 and doesn't have the same strength as the guy. I recently just played this guy at DT. He's 23, 6'4", 360. Probably the biggest guy in the game, I think. So, block shed is 71. So now, like, I'm experimenting on, whether this big guy is good enough to just hold up players and allow linebackers to come in. So he starts, and he probably shouldn't, but he starts, and now I've got Tomlinson at 327, 325 playing an end, and then Harrison Phillips playing an end. And this guy, he's not, he's all right, So I just a lot of decisions, and again, kicking me off for the second time. I'll just wrap this video up Clearly, Madden doesn't want me to be great. And so what I'll do is oh man, I'll just tinker around with. I mean, if you look at this game, I'm up. So just to backtrack in this game, I'm up going into halftime. I'm up going to half, and I run a play, and I go out of bounds with 3 seconds to go at the guys like, I don't know, 10. And I say to myself, I can go for a touchdown here and maybe put this game a little bit out of reach in that, where it starts to like it's getting out of control, or I can get the points and get out of here. The guy scores, 14 and, 28 points in the second half. Essentially, he did nothing in the first half of the game. Like I had him on smash. Like there wasn't anything getting completed. And then the second half, it was just a whole nother story. I got the ball back. I got a strip sack. He scored off that. And then something else happened. I think I threw a pick. And now he's got 14 points. And now the game, like, that's it. It's over. Um, but I feel like I think it was 3 seconds to go. I probably could have got off one play. But I felt like I got the points and that'd be it. Um, yeah. I mean, I turned him over. I didn't get any sacks though. Like his O line must be OD good, cause I didn't get any sacks off of him. Red zone percentage at 60. I gotta work on that too. I'm probably one of the worst in the league in red zones. Kick return yards, first downs. Just yeah. Look, offensive rushing yards 50. Ah. Anyway, I digress. Good night, y'all. Like I said, I'll probably go live later on tonight with this Dallas game breakdown to see what, if there were certain things that I could have done differently, or if you're going to play Dallas in the future, things you may do to combat his play style. I mean, I've got a couple of notes in my head already that I can lay off. I can just give it to you off Jump Street, but I'll wait. Um, yeah. All right. I'll see you guys later on tonight. Peace out.